NFL Week 7 is finished. It's over. Thank you. Man, that week was wild. That week absolutely sucked for my betting. And I have a lot to say about it in this video. Ranting, reacting, and raving. Because my New England Patriots won a damn game, baby. We're going to talk about that at the end of the review, but we have a lot more to discuss. It was a busy Monday for me. I had not one, but two Bleacher Report streams. I had the Monday Night Football stream. I had the Kevin Byard news. I literally made like 5 videos, 5 different streams. So I couldn't watch all the film I typically do, unfortunately. But I still want to get this review out for Tuesday morning, so I'm doing this late on Monday night. So I apologize to anybody if I missed your team or missed an in-depth breakdown. I'm still going to break down as many games as I possibly can in this video. But I really want to stick to the ones that really stood out to me and really I felt were big takeaways. Especially the games that I ended up watching live and providing play-by-play for, because I think there was a lot to learn from those games this week. So let's first begin, of course, where we always begin. Gronk spike the like button and subscribe if you haven't already for weekly NFL reviews covering all 32 teams on this channel. This is an NFL channel. We bet, we pick games, we do play-by-play, live streams, and more. And if you want to support me and my content, you can by becoming a member on YouTube or on Patreon. Link in the description. Thank you so much, and shout out to the new patrons. Let's begin with Monday Night Football. So Monday Night Football, we had the San Francisco 49ers. We had the Minnesota Vikings. I felt like coming off a loss, San Francisco would go to Minnesota. No Trent Williams, doesn't matter. Deebo Samuel, doesn't matter. Go into Minnesota, win that football game. Play one of the best games they played all year, execute, and run away with it. And early on in the game, it actually appeared that that might be the case. First drive of the game, Vikings get the ball. Intercepted, Charvarius Ward. Brock Purdy throwing dimes left and right, middle. And they drive down the field, get around the 10-yard line. Christian McCaffrey uncharacteristically fumbles the ball. The Vikings get the ball back, go down the field, score a touchdown. And that was the beginning. That fumble was the beginning of the Vikings' big performance tonight. And big performance on Monday night. And big win to keep their season alive. The Viking season is still alive for a wild card spot potentially in the NFC. The way they looked tonight, they looked like a playoff team. They looked legit. Their defense came to play. And although the Niners moved the ball pretty well, they had multiple turnovers in the game. They forced 2 interceptions at the end in the fourth quarter to stop Brock Purdy from driving down the field and winning the game. They forced a big fumble early to get the momentum, like I just said. But man, the story of this game, and there's a lot of takeaways here and a lot of things to discuss, but the story of this game is Kirk Cousins. There's no other story. Kirk Cousins was absolute nails tonight. Kirk Cousins was unbelievable in this game. This is one of the best games I've ever seen Kirk Cousins play. He played a really awesome game against my Patriots last year, and this game felt very similar where Kirk Cousins was just on the money with every single throw. Didn't matter what the Niners did. Man coverage, zone coverage, zero blitz, like whatever they did, 4-man rush. It didn't matter. Kirk Cousins was making the throw, and without Justin Jefferson, he came through. And his receivers stepped up. TJ Hawkinson, big game. Absolutely dummied Dre Greenlaw time after time after time. Got open versus Fred Warner. Didn't matter. Jordan Addison was a superstar in this game. Jordan Addison looked like a legitimate future number 1 receiver in a way where we've seen, multiple number 1s on the same team. right? We've seen this before, like when Chase has been down, T. Higgins would step up, or with Tyreek's not there, Jalen Waddle steps up. We've seen it in the past in the history of the game, with a Torrey Holt and an Isaac Bruce or a Reggie Wayne and a Marvin Harrison. And I'm not calling Jordan Addison Reggie Wayne, but what I'm saying is Justin Jefferson not there. Jordan Addison superstar. That's a big deal for Vikings fans. That should be a huge takeaway because he was really good in this game. Mostly versus a really good corner in Charvarius Ward, who had an interception against him early and gave him a welcome to the NFL moment. KJ Osborne was really good in this game. I felt like every Vikings player on offense was really good. Madison had a couple runs early in the game. The offensive line, I don't think is getting enough credit. They were phenomenal protecting Cousins in this game. They have the best tackle duo in the NFL right now, according to Pro Football Focus, and PFF grades are accurate. Christian Darrisaw just erased Nick Bosa from this game. Did he even play? Somebody said that he didn't want to sack the white quarterback. I don't know. Maybe that's true. But Nick Bosa, I don't know. He was invisible. Christian Darrisaw, O'Neal, shut him down. Number 3, number 7 tackle in the NFL. Or number 2 and number 7. Regardless, 2 top 8 tackles in the NFL, and they played like it. And there's concerns for the 49ers as well. But I got to continue with the Vikings. Brian Flores, phenomenal performance in terms of just situational play calls. 3-man rush. No, I'm sending 6. No, I'm sending 7. I'm blitzing here. No, I'm taking away this pass here. Just enough. Really good plan against the run. If you were to say anything about the Vikings, they did not allow the Niners to run on them. And they forced the game into Brock Purdy's hands. And Brock Purdy made a lot of throws. Brock Purdy made a lot of plays. Brock Purdy had a really good game for like 90% of the game. It was just that 10% that was off that cost them the game in the end. The Vikings, congratulations. Great win at home. Huge upset. Another L for my best bets this week. You just knew it was going to happen the week that I was having. But man, great win for the Vikings. They looked legit. Loved the play action. Loved the pass-heavy script. Loved Kevin O'Connell's play calling was phenomenal. The screen passes in key situations, key spots. Just beautiful stuff from Kevin O'Connell. Really looked like a legitimate OC today and a legitimate head coach. And he has something going on with the refs at home where he's always in their back pocket. He's always chirping them just a little bit to make sure he gets a call or two. San Francisco. Boy, the team that I had as the number 1 team as early as this morning, I don't think I can claim that after 2 straight losses. Not saying that I would give up on the Niners or saying that I'm not still having them in the NFC Championship or potentially even the Super Bowl, but that's 2 straight losses. And it's not a good performance. You can excuse the Cleveland performance against a really good defense on the road in the rain. It happens. This performance, yeah, it was on the road 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, you didn't have Trent Williams and Debo. You probably win with those 2 guys. I'm not denying that. But every team has injuries. Every team has injuries. Yeah, you were a little unlucky. Moody misses a field goal. You fumble the ball early. It could be a completely different game if those things don't happen. I get it. It's football, though. And for me, the San Francisco 49ers showed some flaws tonight. Offensively, I actually felt like their defense or the offensive line played really well for the most part. I don't really have any complaints with the offensive line in the pass game. Felt like they blocked well. Danielle Hunter got through a couple times as to be expected. Purdy was able to navigate and make some plays on the move a little bit better than, maybe some people think. But overall, offensive line good. McCaffrey wasn't quite the McCaffrey that we've seen all year and clearly injured. But the area that I felt like he was least effective was as a receiver. I felt like if there was one fault of Kyle tonight, it was maybe not getting McCaffrey involved enough in this game. Overall, though, I felt like Kyle called a really good game. I felt like Brandon Ayuk was in a rhythm early. Felt like George Kittle was kind of quiet early and showed up late. And as expected, Ayuk was really good early on against the blitz and against man coverage, and he was torching, and then Brian Flores adjusted to that at halftime. The Niners adjusted to that adjustment and were able to move the ball with Jawan Jennings and George Kittle, and it was all good. It's just that one interception by Brock Purdy, the first interception, bad throw. It felt like an inaccurate throw, or it felt like a rush throw. And then the second throw, there's not a lot of time left. You're trying to make a play. You're trying to scramble around. Maybe you misread the situation and the coverage. He didn't have to force that throw, in my opinion. It was a bad decision. I felt like he could have lived to seen another play, and he could have probably thrown that at the dirt somewhere or thrown it away somewhere. But again, this is like a 90% good game from Brock Purdy. It's just that 10% where I do have to say he choked in the end. But the unit that really choked, I think a lot of people are going to focus on Brock Purdy. A lot of people are going to focus on no Deebo Samuel, no Trent Williams on offense. If you really look at the stats for the 49ers, I think they punted once, maybe twice in the game. They turned it over 3 times, 1 time in the red zone, multiple times in the Vikings side of the field. They missed a field goal. So the offense was mostly successful in the game. It's just a matter of some turnovers, a missed kick, which they need to get more consistent from the kicking position. The most disappointing and choking unit in this game was the Niners defense. And that starts with their coaching, defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, who's had overall a pretty good season this year. Didn't feel like he had a good game last week against the Browns, just in terms of the plan. You're playing PJ Walker, you got to stop the run, they don't stop the run. This week, that run defense showed up a little bit early, but it got better towards the end, and they started to make some stuffs and some stops, and that was better. But overall, the pass defense was a disaster. They couldn't figure it out. They couldn't rush. They couldn't rush with 4 and get to the quarterback. They couldn't blitz and get to the quarterback. Nothing was working, and their corners were not holding up in the secondary. They were getting shredded. Now, maybe this is the type of game that the Niners defense needed to really wake up and really open their eyes versus a legitimate passer and a legitimate, accurate guy, and just a guy that's on fire. Like Kirk Cousins was on fire. He was unbelievable in this game, and these receivers were separating, and this is a good group of receivers. And overall, the Niners lost their one-on-one matchups on defense. Nick Bosa wasn't able to best Darisaw or O'Neal. Hargrave, they paid all this money to Hargrave in the middle. He did nothing in this game. You would expect to get that push against a pocket quarterback. You need Hargrave, you need Armstead to step up and get some pressure in the middle. They didn't get that pressure. The guy that actually stood out the most in moments was Randy Gregory. Some Clelin Ferrell sightings in moments. Overall, though, not enough from this pass rush with 4, which kind of caused Steve Wilks to blitz and pressure the quarterback, and that left some vacated areas down the field, some one-on-one coverages where Jordan Addison was able to take advantage. At the end of the half, that was a huge mistake by Wilks, in my opinion. Should have just played soft, should have been willing to give them the field goal at the end of the half. That's partly on Kyle, too, as big of a Kyle fan as I am, and he was critical of that call by Wilks, and I'm not sure what the dialogue is there, but I think going forward, that's something you can learn from and say, hey, Kyle's probably going to go before half and be like, okay, let's just play cover 2 here. Let's just let them have 10 yards. We'll let them kick the field goal, take their chances from 45 yards, and if they get a field goal, we'll go into halftime, we'll reset, we'll regroup, we get the ball at half, all good. We're down by 7. It's all good, right? But instead, they go back down by 9, right, instead of 6, because they allow a long touchdown. A little bit of a fluky long touchdown where Jordan Addison kind of strips the ball away from Charvarius Ward one-on-one and runs in for a touchdown. A little fluky, but it happens, right? And you let it happen. You open the door for it to happen, which is the problem. And then in the second half, they couldn't cover. They couldn't cover. They need to change things up. They need to be less simple. They need to do more. To me, I think they need to come with more simulated pressures. See more simulated pressures. Need to see more movement from the line of scrimmage. Too many times where Kirk Cousins can see 4-man rush. Easy. Clear as day. No stunts up front. Just 4 guys rushing. Need to see more creativity from the defensive line. Need to see more ways that the Niners are trying to attack the pocket and attack Cousins and the protections. Too simple up front, in my opinion. The secondary, I felt like overall a little too soft in moments. A little too soft. No Justin Jefferson out there. too soft. Dre Greenlaw definitely playing injured. That showed up in this game. And overall, the Niners defense just had a really poor game. I think they allowed over 450 yards. It was only 22 points. It could have been more. It could have been less, but it could have been more. So, not a good performance by San Francisco. I think they'll regroup. They've got a big game against the Bengals next week. We'll see if they can get it going here. The Bengals are coming out of their bye. It's not going to be an easy game whatsoever. So, and they play another pocket quarterback with good receivers. So we'll see how that goes. But disappointing effort from the Niners, a team that I really felt like, with all the madness from Sunday and Week 7, I felt like if there was a team I could count on this week, it was San Francisco not losing 2 in a row. And boy, I was wrong. But shout out to Kirk Cousins. Shout out to that Vikings team. Shout out to Brian Flores. Shout out to Kevin O'Connell. Great coaching tonight. And really good effort from these players. Really good effort. It showed me a lot. And the Vikings, I feel like, are going to be around in a pain in the butt for the rest of the year. They might actually go on a run here. So we'll see. But, man, 49ers lose. Shocker. Let me know your thoughts on that game. Sunday Night Football, Miami Dolphins, Philadelphia Eagles. 31-17. If there was a game I actually got right, it was the Eagles beating the Dolphins this week. And this is one that I wasn't confident enough to make a best bet. Although I did think the Eagles at home in that environment, especially with the passing of Paulie from the Rocky films, you knew the spirit was fighting high in Philadelphia. And brotherly love was in the building, and definitely the brotherly shove was in the building. We saw that more than a few times in this game. And people were complaining about it after. People were also complaining about the refs, because the refs were not very good. There was a couple seriously bad calls. The one face mask call was egregious. The lack of a face mask call. There was a couple calls that they missed, but what do you expect? It's in Philadelphia. It's a Sunday night primetime game. You're not going to get that many calls. I don't know what to tell you, Miami. But overall, the story from this game, I think there's a few different takeaways. I think you saw a physical team with a strong culture take on a team that's a little soft. But I also feel like, and in no way am I blaming Tua for this. Want to make that clear. Tua actually, I felt, played a pretty good game. I felt like he made a number of nice throws, accurate dimes down the sideline. Cedric Wilson, there was a couple to him I can recall. There was a couple to Tyreek Hill, really nice passes in this game. And I felt like overall he manipulated the pocket, made some nice throws. He did make a crucial bad interception. But my point is this. The team takes on the identity of the quarterback. And this team with Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts is tough. He's a powerhouse. He's a great athlete. He's no nonsense. He's all business. And he's all about the W. And we saw that in Philadelphia. They play with an edge. They play with physicality. They kicked ass at the line of scrimmage. They moved the Dolphins around early in the game in the run game before Miami was able to adjust and actually played the run pretty well. DeAndre Swift made a number of nice plays in this game, making people miss, I felt like, especially that one where he just juked somebody out of his shorts. Jalen Hurts didn't turn the ball over as much, although it's still lurking there. You know, a couple big plays for Miami's defense. Darius Slay had a game-changing interception on Tua, so it goes both ways. But it feels like that tush-push, man, it really dives into this identity of their line of scrimmage strength. We're going to play straight up, and you can't beat us. And I was trying to make that point in my Discord. Like, Philadelphia is a frustrating team to watch when you're the opposing fan because they play a straight-up style of ball. You can trick them. You can catch them off guard. You can out-coach them. You can out-scheme them. But at the end of the day, it's your man versus their man, and a lot of the time, if not all the time, their man wins, especially in the trenches. And this game was all about the Eagles' ability to get pressure, the Eagles' ability to stop the run of the Dolphins for the first time all year. This is the first time I've seen anyone stop it. Hassan Reddick was in the backfield all first quarter long. The offensive line of the Eagles was able to protect Hurts and allow him to buy time most of the time. A.J. Brown was an absolute superstar in this game, was a freak show. That one catch he made down the field was unbelievable. Him and Tyreek Hill once again making magic happen. Two of the top 3 receivers in the NFL right now. A.J. Brown's got to be inserted into that conversation. Dallas Goedert had a nice game for himself. Like the way they're getting him involved, especially in the screen game and things of that nature. But man, this game was all about speed versus power, and power won. And McDaniels' mastery of protecting the offensive line and not allowing it to be exposed, it just wasn't enough here. The Dolphins have injuries on the offensive line. The Dolphins have injuries in the secondary. Both of them popped up in this game. And I felt like, as good as I felt Tua was in this game, I felt like 2 years ago, Tua, this game's a complete blowout. This year, Tua, he made some plays, but 17 points isn't good enough to beat a contender. And at the end of the day, all you have to say about Miami is every time they've played a good team, they've not played well. And they've been basically blown out. 31-17 in a game between two good teams is a blowout, in my opinion. It's a blowout. And the Eagles mostly dominated, especially in the key moments. And they lost to Buffalo, in Buffalo. 2 tough road games. Neither one are they able to be physical enough, tough enough, gritty enough to win. Miami looks a little bit like a soft team. A little bit like a team that's loving playing these weak teams and running up the score, but whenever they play a legitimate defensive line and a somewhat legitimate defense that has a good quarterback on the other side that can score points, they're not able to win. They're not able to do what they want to do. So, to me, this is all about 8-25, which is the Dolphins' opponents' records this season that are not the Bills and the Eagles. The teams that they have beaten, 8-25. At a certain point, Miami's going to have to beat a good team. And I think Ramsey will help. I think Howard being back will help. I think they need to make a trade for their front 7 because they need to get consistently better against the run. They could use some cornerback depth. The offensive line needs to get better, but I told you, they're going to get hurt. Isaiah Wynn always gets hurt. Teron Armstead always gets hurt. These guys get hurt. I told you before the year, they're an injury-plagued team. They sign injury-plagued players. They're going to get hurt. So, Miami, back down to earth. Philadelphia looked legit. It was one of those games where it was a marquee game. Power speed. Tua Hurts. Great offense versus great roster. High flying versus line of scrimmage prowess. And the team that has a proven track record. A team that was at home with a great environment. A team that has that championship pedigree coming off of a tough loss. Was able to prove how good they are. And can be. And even in moments of weakness throughout the game, they were able to fight through it and win. And Miami just doesn't have that spirit. There's something missing with them. A grit, a tangible toughness. And I think it stems from the identity of the quarterback. You know, as good as he's been this year, Tua is a guy that he's kind of like, oh shucks, you know, like he's kind of been hurt all the time. Hurts, just straight cash. Dude is just focused. Tua and his coach, they're all flamboyant. They're all, oh, look at me. I threw 400 yards. I got Tyreek Hill. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Jalen Hurts is just win. Did we lose? Did we win? It doesn't matter what my stats are. Did we win? Did we lose? Not I threw for 400 yards. You see my 60-yard pass. At a certain point, you don't need to respond to your haters, bro. I was in the Bleacher Report, streaming the Bleacher Report stuff. I got haters left and right. I got people saying you're baby face. I got people saying Zach Wilson over here. I got people saying you're no good. You stink at your job. I got people saying all this stuff. They don't know me from Adam. They don't know me. They think I suck. Or at least they're hating. They don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they do know what they're talking about. But it can't affect me when I'm performing. And that's the same for Tua. Jalen Hurts, he's criticized, turning the ball over, this and that. Eagles, they're overrated. They lost to Zach Wilson, pretty boy. And overall, you know, they come back, they respond. That's what champions do. Tua's too busy looking at his stats. So I don't want to, again, I didn't really want to make this about Tua, but it's not about it's not about Tua, really. It's about the team. It's about their idea of success. It's about the fan base's idea of success. And not all Dolphins fans. I know some great Dolphins fans. I have a lot of respect for some Dolphins fans out there. But there's some guys on Twitter and in the social media where these guys, they care more about Tua's stat line than the win. And at the end of the day, that shit doesn't matter, man. That shit doesn't matter. Did you win? Did you lose? That's all it comes down to. If you played sports, it doesn't matter. Did Kobe care? Did Mike care? Did Brady care? No, they don't care. You shouldn't either, Tua. All right. Moving to the next game. The Baltimore Ravens. The Detroit Lions. The Lions were leveled. And I tried to tell you, Lions fans. I tried to warn you in my picks live stream. You're coming at me, oh, Mitch, you don't know shit. Mitch, what are you talking about, bro? Mitch, you're a hater. You sitting here saying I'm a hater. I'm a hater of the Lions. You know how absurd that sounds? Go back into the back in the day of the BLV. Who's been here? Who's been with you? And you're calling me a hater? What are you talking about? I'm just picking some games. I'm trying to tell you what's up. I'm trying to educate you Lions fans on what it's like to win actual football games and be a fan and see that. Because you Lions fans, as much as you have passion for your team and you love your team, and that's great, man. I love that shit. That's fantastic. I love all you guys. But at the same time, you don't know what it's like. I've been there, bro. You could be 60 years old, be a Lions fan, but you never seen winning, so you don't really know what a good team is. I'm just going to be honest. You don't know what it's like. You've never seen a team win a damn playoff game. And maybe one in your life. So for you to come in my chat and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, and for me to say that you should slow your roll because you won a couple regular season games, bro. You won a couple regular season games. It really doesn't matter. What does it matter in January? So, for me, I just don't like these Lions fans coming at, attacking me. I'm trying to tell them how it is. I'm trying to help them out. I'm trying to be like this old, wise Patriots fan who's past his day. You know, my team's shit now, but I had a day. You know what I mean? I'm this guy, this Pats fan. I've seen these times. I know I'm only 27, but I've seen a lot of years of winning, and I've seen the difference between great, and I've seen the difference between great and very good and good and mediocre. And now bad and mediocre. So you're trying to tell me what this team is. I'm telling you what the team is. You can sit there and say whatever you want. But this was a scheduled loss for the Detroit Lions. I told you. Because Lamar Jackson is that dude. Lamar Jackson is that dude, bro. This guy right here for MVP. Lamar Jackson. You know why we're going to put Lamar right here? Lamar's going to sit beside me for the rest of the stream. Lamar Jackson, MVP of the NFL. Fantastic game. Phenomenal performance. Throwing the ball, running the ball, making magic out of nothing, spinorama, turn around, slingshot, bam, Nelson Aguilar back of the end zone. The Ravens scored like 4 straight drives, bam, touchdown, 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 unbelievable. Holy smokers. I knew that it was going to be fire flames from the third play of the game when the Ravens ran a triple option pass play to Odell Beckham, who, by the way, man, this receiving core is legit. Like, Odell actually looks better than I thought he would. Like, he still looks pretty good out there. Bateman looked to get his legs under him this week. He made a couple key catches in this game. Zay Flowers looks electric every time he catches the ball. Looks like he could go for a touchdown, make 3 people miss in a single play. He consistently has one like 40-yard catch every week. Mark Andrews is Mark Andrews, absolute dog. The Ravens ran the ball in this game better than pretty much any Lions opponent in recent memory. And the Ravens defense, man, is for real. And I think they could only get better. Shout out to Kyle Van Noy, 2 sacks. Shout out to Matabuke, who continues to have a breakout season. That entire front is underrated with what they're doing. And they do a great job scheming, man. They throw you off with a multitude of looks. Zone, man. Are they coming with a blitz? Are they backing out? What are they doing? And this is what I'm talking about with the 49ers. They need to be more elaborate, more creative. And to me, McDonald right now is the best defensive play caller maybe in the sport. Like, you look at the Ravens depth chart and you say it's a good, talented defense, but what really makes it run is the combination of the skills, the skill sets at the specific positions designed for the specific scheme that they're running. And what really separates the Ravens for me right now is their communication. I think that all stems from Roquan Smith. You know, what made the Ravens back in the day such a great defense? It wasn't always the individual talents, although they did have some great players, from Ray to Ed to Suggs to Nata to all these dudes, right? And Doomerville later on, and Chris McAllister and all these dudes, right? But what really made it great was the communication from Ray Lewis. And I feel like that exists right now from Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith, first of all, is an absolute bullet out there. I think you could argue he's the best linebacker in the NFL. And I know Fred Warner fans are going to get upset with me, but have you watched Roquan Smith lately? Like, it's absurd what he's doing out there. And he's setting the rest of this defense out. Even with no Marcus Williams back there, they're really playing well. Geno Stone's playing well. Marlon Humphrey's playing like Marlon Humphrey. They've got a bunch of different veterans from up front to in the back that are playing well. Kyle Hamilton continues to play well. Patrick Queen continues to play well. Like, what an addition in Kyle Van Noy. Like, these guys, Jadeveon Clowney's having a great year for them. And we really saw what the Lions are when they are put on the ropes early and they're kind of taken away from their run game and they're having to be a pass-first team. It just felt like they were just chasing the game the entire time. They had a couple drives, you know, in the third quarter where they were able to get to a 4th down situation in Ravens territory, never able to convert. The Ravens just continued to stifle them time after time after time. It was 28-0, guys, with 7 minutes left in the first half. It was a complete domination from the very start. The very first snap of the game, the Ravens destroyed the Lions. Am I saying the Lions are finished? The Lions are finito? The Lions are done? No. What I am saying, though, is I'm saying I have not bought the Lions as an NFC championship team. I will still say the Lions will make the NFC divisional round. They will win a playoff game. They're not going to the NFC championship. That is my take as of right now. I think this game clarified to me my thought on the Lions, which is they are a good team. Jared Goff's playing well. Their offensive line's really good. Defense has their moments. Play calling is really good. But when they play the upper echelon quarterbacks, upper echelon teams, I have my questions. So they've moved past their average, they're a borderline playoff team, to they're good. They are a playoff team. They're legit, but they're not elite. And that's what the Lions are. And I'm sorry to tell you that. Moving on. The Colts and the Browns. Now, I didn't get to go in depth on this game. This game was wild. Like, what in the F happened? But I have a couple takeaways from it. First of all, stop blaming the refs because your coach gave the game away before the first half ended. Go back, watch the end of the half, and see how many mistakes Shane Steichen makes with clock management. It was actually disgusting. Okay? He gave the Browns so many opportunities at the end of the half to put points up on the board instead of just taking that lead into halftime. But the real point I want to make here is Deshaun Watson fucking sucks. I think he only played 10 plays. He had 5 passes in the game. I think 2 were nearly completed to the other team. Let's actually look at his stats in this game. So the game ends up being 39-38, which means Cleveland has a decent day throwing the ball. PJ Walker, 15 for 32, 178. Not impressive stats, but they ran the ball with Ford for 74 yards. The defense made a number of plays in this game. Myles Garrett had himself an epic game. 2 sacks, a forced fumble, I think a block field goal, a bunch of craziness. Their kicker had 4 field goals, 21 fantasy points, I recall that. Deshaun Watson, 1 for 5, 5 yards, an interception. He was atrocious. Even though he was cleared from concussion, he was fucking terrible. There's no way around it. And there's a reason he didn't go back in the game, because he wasn't the best quarterback for the team to play in that game. You're talking about a bad contract, a bad signing, an epically awful decision by an NFL franchise. Who else but the Cleveland Browns? I feel bad for Browns fans at this point, because this guy is epically bad. He's being paid, so it doesn't even matter. You have to pay him. He doesn't have to get better because he has no motivation. All he does is have a bag of money. And Deshaun Watson is also a douche. So, that being said, he's not a good human. He's not a good football player. This sucks. It sucks. If you're a Browns fan, I feel bad for you, because your quarterback, there is no way around it. There is no way to cheer for this guy. He stinks. He's bad at the game. He's bad leading a team. It's awful. It's awful. If I was a Browns fan, I'd rather have PJ Walker. Somehow they win this game. Shout out to Myles Garrett. Great game for him. Colts, though. Gardner motherfucking Minshew, bro. Gardner Minshew. Minshew Mania, a.k.a. Ryan Fitzpatrick 2.0. 15 for 23, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception. He was sacked 4 times. He ran for 2 touchdowns. He also fumbled 3 times. But Minshew, with 4 touchdowns and 300 yards versus the best defense in the NFL that had previously not allowed over 200, they allowed 250 yards in one game the whole year. Total. Minshew had 305 yards by himself and 4 touchdowns. 2 of them rushing. Jonathan Taylor had a big game back in the lineup. 75 yards, 1 touchdown, 45 yards receiving. Josh Downs, 125 yards receiving, 1 touchdown straight out of North Carolina. Number 23. Never mind. And the defense. So, the Colts defense, they're all right. But honestly, I don't know what to think of the Colts. They're a tough team to rank in the power rankings coming up. I don't really know what to think of them. But all I know is Deshaun Watson sucks. Moving on to the next game. The Raiders and the Bears. This is an embarrassment for Josh McDaniels and the Las Vegas Raiders. I have held in frustration with the Raiders this season, last season, because I like Josh McDaniels. And it's very hard for me to take off my rose-colored glasses when it comes to a Patriot coach who was there for 6 Super Bowls. And I like the person, Josh McDaniels. Everything I've heard from him seems like a great guy. So it's very hard for me to hate on this man. Understand that, Raiders fans. And I don't mean it to be biased or anything, but it's just what it is. But that being said, he lost them this game, and the Raiders are a disaster this week. I actually thought they looked good last week. I actually felt like the last couple of weeks they were trending in the right direction, and they had a weak schedule they could take advantage of. Never mind, they can't even beat the Bears. They lost to Teabag. And you know what I think it stems from? It stems from Josh McDaniels playing conservatively. Playing not to lose instead of playing to win versus a rookie undrafted quarterback. Brian Hoyer was putrid in this game. They couldn't throw the ball past 15 yards. Brian Hoyer was Brian Hoyer. What would you expect? They couldn't run the ball, and despite that, they kept running the ball. The Bears are bad against the pass, not the run. They kept running the ball. Josh McDaniels has lost his ways. He used to be a great play caller. He used to be a wizard of offense. And now he's just vanilla Joe Schmo, fundamental Patriot offense garbage. McDaniels has not done anything to say he's a top elite play caller in this league over the past couple of years. So, it's depressing. It's tough. But I don't know why O'Connell didn't play. And then for you to say in the press conference that O'Connell didn't play because it's not preseason anymore. Bro, Brian Hoyer sucks. What are you getting out of playing Brian Hoyer? You're not getting physical upside. You're not getting big plays. And you're certainly damn not getting a young quarterback to progress and see what he has. You're not getting that. So, I don't know why O'Connell didn't play, because he actually played better than Hoyer in this game when he came in. A couple notes. Commanders-Giants, most predictable upset of the week in a week full of upsets. Falcons and Buccaneers. Where is BIJAN? Somebody please find BIJAN, save him. Why is BIJAN not playing, and why are the Falcons not reporting their injuries? And also, Ritter, stop fumbling the ball. Ritter almost cost this team the game because he fumbled the ball like 3 times. And he seems to always fumble the ball right where you don't want to fumble the ball. Fumbles the ball in the red zone. And then we had a Baker, the commercial maker, performance, vintage. Falcons right now have a top 5 defense in the NFL. The Falcons are the best team in the NFC South, period. They win in Tampa Bay. Good for them. Steelers and the Rams. Again, I don't even know what to say. My notes literally say the Steelers, man. Like, how do you explain this team? They don't make any sense. The first half, the Rams look like the clear and definitive better team. Nakua is going off in this game. He made one of the craziest catches I've ever seen. I think it was in the second quarter. Unbelievable catch. Nakua was unreal. The score was 9-3 entering halftime, and it felt like the Steelers were never going to score a point for the rest of the game. The Rams were really dominant. Stafford made an insane play to Tutu Atwell for a touchdown, and then, of course, Maher misses the extra point. He fucking blows. He missed the field goal as well. But what happens? You enter the second half, it's only 9-3 after you dominated the first half because you don't execute on a field goal, you don't get a 2-score lead, and then all of a sudden, TJ Watt makes a TJ Watt play where he's just unbelievable, intercepts a pass as a defensive end, runs it back, sets the Steelers up for a touchdown. All of a sudden, Steelers are in the lead. They didn't do anything. All game. Through the first 2 quarters, they didn't do anything. TJ Watt makes an insane play, and then all of a sudden it just becomes a snowball going downhill. Everything starts snowballing for this team. All of a sudden, you got Kenny Pickett making big throws outside to George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. By the way, Deontay Johnson, major difference maker for this offense. Really helps take the attention away from Pickens, and another guy that can win a one-on-one, get open, make a catch, convert a first down. I thought Pickett was really good in the fourth quarter, really good in the second half. First half, a little lost, a little Pickett-ish this year. But overall, second half, balls. Balls of steel, you would say. And Matt Canada, I love how they have the press box cam of Matt Canada now in every game, where he barely shows any emotion when they score. And then the last touchdown, I think he got pretty excited there. I thought the sneak was short, honestly, on the 4th and 1. It was really hard to tell. I thought it was short. Obviously, they checked it. It wasn't, but it looked initially that it was short. 24-17 with 7 minutes left, though, and Rams aren't able to tie the game up. Steelers defense comes through as they always do, and the Steelers win another game where you ask yourself at the end of the game, how did we win? How did this even happen? How are the Steelers this good? Why is their record this good? They don't make any sense. They don't appear to be a team with the record that they have, and all of a sudden they're sitting here, and they look like they might make the playoffs if they keep winning games like this. I think in every Steelers game, you might just be better off not betting them, because they're rather going to get blown out or they're going to win the game off some crazy crap. So Steelers are putrid offensively, defensively extremely opportunistic. TJ Watt might be Defensive Player of the Year again. And just another Steeler performance. You have to credit with how they dominated the second half. Really impressive. Do have to give them credit for that. Cardinals and the Seahawks. My question for Seahawks fans, is Geno Smith the issue right now? 17-10 with 10 minutes left. Seahawks lead at home versus the Cardinals. Now, I will give the Seahawks credit. They were a favorite at home, and they covered. Not a lot of teams did that this week. Favorites had a tough week. Good teams in general had a tough week. Seattle was able to come through and cover 20-10 at home. Defense continues to impress. Now, that being said, Nwosu out long term. They're going to have to trade for a pass rusher. It's going to have to happen. Maybe even 2. That being said, Geno Smith needs to be better for this team to really take that next step. The next game, the Packers and the Broncos. I'm officially done with the Packers. I'm officially finished with the Packers. I can't anymore. I bet them, I think 5 times on my best bets. I'm 2-3. I can't bet them anymore. I'm done. Matt LaFleur, you're calling the game too conservatively. You're running the ball too much, and you're not letting your quarterback make any plays. You're protecting your quarterback too much, and it's protecting you from winning the game. That's first and foremost. Secondly, Jordan Love has been putrid. Jordan Love has been terrible on non-screen or check down plays. He's rarely hitting passes down the field for 20-plus yards. Jordan Love was 0 for 3 with an interception on throws of 20 or more yards versus the Broncos. He is 6 for 27, which is 22%, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on those throws this season. And people wonder why Christian Watson is not having a breakout year. Their quarterback has 6 completions, 22% completion rate, throwing 20 or more yards down the field. And it's his fault. He can't make the throws. He's missing the throws. And overall, what I'm seeing from Jordan Love is a lack of confidence, a lack of belief in his arm, a lack of belief in, most importantly, his mechanics. He doesn't trust his accuracy, and therefore he doesn't trust a tight window throw. Any window that is slightly contested, he won't throw it. He is trying not to turn it over. He's trying to play through the running game. He's trying to play like Aaron Rodgers last year. Don't turn it over. Be conservative. Don't rip the ball down the field. Take the sack if you have to. Throw it away. Take the check down. That's all Matt LaFleur is probably telling him. That's all the offense looks like. Be conservative. Don't turn it over. Play through the defense. Here's the problem. The defense isn't very good. They allow way too many rushing yards versus every opponent. Without Jair, that Valentine kid is terrible. He gets torched on every play. No Devondre Campbell in the lineup. They're just not very good on defense. They're average at best. They need a new defensive coordinator. They remind me a lot of the Browns the last couple of years, where they get a new defensive coordinator, changes things around. A guy that actually knows what he's doing. Changed things around for that team. Could happen the same for the Packers because they have talent, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense why they're not better than they are. But they're not. They're not. That's the fact of the matter. The Packers are not a good team with a really bad quarterback right now who doesn't trust his mechanics, doesn't trust his accuracy, and his coach doesn't trust him either. So if you're wondering, why is Aaron Jones not playing better? Why is Christian Watson not playing better? Why are we not getting more in fantasy? These guys are not given a chance by their quarterback and their coach, period. Next. This was the second game I streamed on Sunday, the Chargers and the Chiefs. I don't know what else I have to say at this point, man. Brandon Staley is the biggest piece of monkey crap the NFL has ever seen at the coach position. This man is so bad. It's actually, I am going blind watching his football team play. I am going blind watching his defense. His defense is malpractice. He should be looked into for throwing games at this point. He has the highest paid defense in the NFL. He can't fucking stop a nosebleed, bro. His defense is so fucking bad. They can't stop anything. The first half of this game against the Chiefs, they're playing soft zone after soft zone after soft zone. What do we hear after the game? Derwin James, Michael Davis. Oh, all we did in the second half is play man. All we did in the second half is play tighter coverage. All we did in the first half is play zone, and they shredded us. And even, I think, one of those players, I think it was Derwin James, said, you can't play zone against this team. They're too good at finding the holes in the zone. Travis Kelce's too smart. Patrick Mahomes is too patient. Their offensive line is too good. You can't play zone. What does this man, Brandon Staley, do? Play zone all game until the third quarter. And then, what else does he do? I'm going to have to check the stats because I want to make sure I give Travis Kelce all of his credit. And I want to make sure Taylor Swift gets her credit. Travis Kelce, 12 catches for 179 yards and a touchdown. I'm not exactly sure, but I swear to you, Travis Kelce had at least 10 of those catches in the first half. Like, it was insane. Tyreek Hill, don't double team Tyreek Hill. CeeDee Lamb, don't double team CeeDee Lamb. Tennessee Titans, blow the damn game. Vikings, don't double team Justin Jefferson. Do the Chargers ever try to take away the best player? Ever? Do the Chargers ever actually scout their opponent on defense? Or did they just roll up and play the same thing every week and get shredded? It is gross. 424 yards and 4 touchdowns by Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't done that all year. He hasn't even been close to doing that all year. The Chargers are that fucking bad. on defense. And they have the highest paid defense in the NFL. They have Khalil Mack. They have Joey Bosa. They have Derwin James. They have Eric Kendricks. They have Michael Davis. They have Asante Samuel Jr. They had J.C. Jackson. They have Sebastian Joseph Day. They have Morgan Fox. They have all these guys that they've paid. All these picks that they've made. Derwin James, tight end stopper. Derwin James, Travis Kelce specialist. Let's play zone. Derwin James, best safety in the league maybe. Derwin James, one of the best man cover safeties in the league. Play zone. Chiefs, no receivers to speak of. Ask any person on the street, Joe Blow, hey, sir, what's the weakness of the Chiefs? The receivers. Oh, so you mean play man coverage? Yeah. Oh! Play zone. 424 yards. And then all of a sudden, they play man. And then in the second half, they can't score a fucking point. Because Justin Herbert choked his life away again. I don't know how many excuses are going to come. Now, that being said, I think you guys get the point. Brandon Staley fucking sucks. He should have been fired a long time ago. He's the worst coach in the league. He knows nothing about defense. His defenses suck. There's no defending this man. He's terrible. Justin Herbert sucked in this game in the second half. He couldn't make a single damn throw to change the game. He had 5, I counted it, 5 drives where the game was 24-17. 5 drives. The game was 24-17 for 5 Charger drives. They couldn't tie the game. Game ends up being 31-17. Still didn't score a point after the half. Justin Herbert. The Prince. Everyone's favorite social media quarterback. Justin Herbert. No points in the second half. Not good enough, man. Not good enough. How many chances you need? More than 5 to tie the game? You're playing the Chiefs. You expect to beat the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce by going 0 points in 5 consecutive drives? Not going to happen. Let's finish with my New England Patriots, baby. Now, before I get to the Patriots, and a little bit of a smile, a good Patriots rant, I want to discuss the Buffalo Bills. Because I think a lot of Patriots fans are going to say, the Bills stink. They're no good anymore. They lost Matt Milano. They lost Daquan Jones. They lost Tre'Davious White. First of all, you weren't saying that last week, pal. Second of all, they still have Josh Allen. They still have Stephon Diggs. They still got a lot of good football players over there. This was a tough game to win. The Bills were 8-point favorites for a reason. The Patriots played like absolute donkey crap for 3 straight weeks. They look like the worst team in the NFL versus the Saints, Cowboys, and the Raiders. Worst team in the football. The entire league. Donkey crap. So I don't want to hear it. They played an elite quarterback, one of the best in football, a multi-dimensional weapon who has dominated our ass. Owned our asses. Multiple matchups in a row. 4 matchups in a row, he has beat us by double digits. We are not used to that. So this is a big win for the Patriots. But you should worry about the Bills. Because their defense stinks. I'm not that worried about the offense. New England has a good defense. It's not as good as it would be with Judon and Gonzalez. Imagine, Pats fans, how good it would be. But it's still pretty good. It's like probably top 12 in the league. It's a good unit. Game was on the road. They still scored 25 points, and they could have scored more probably. And Josh Allen, I felt like, was avoiding like numerous sacks. Like the O-line of the Bills got dominated, and that showed up again. So maybe that's a concern. But Allen played well. The run game was okay. It was fine. It was what the Bills expect. Diggs didn't have his best game, but made a couple plays. Davis definitely was a little invisible. I thought Kincaid had a good game. I felt like they made some plays, but Patriots defense is good. Now, that being said, protection needs to be better for Josh Allen on offense, but the defense is the problem for me here. Matt Milano missing. The middle of the field is wide open. Corner position, Tre'Davious White missing. No corner that can really lock anyone down. You got to play zone coverage. They have to play zone. They can't play man. And when you play New England and you have to play zone, well, they welcome that because they hate playing man because their receivers can't get open. And when they did play man, they couldn't cover the New England Patriots receivers. If you can't cover the Patriots receivers, good luck covering anyone else's receivers. And they couldn't stop the run of the Patriots either really consistently. They didn't even get in Mac Jones's grill at all. There was only a couple plays where they got to Mac Jones. One of the worst offensive lines all season. So the Bills are concerning. But the Patriots showed up, man. That's what I've been talking about. Passion, love for the game, the sport, the profession of football. You showed up. I haven't seen that team all year. That team was a new team that took the field on Sunday. The grittying, the passion, the celebration. That was a different vibe. That was a different feel. That was a different energy surging through the Patriots. Maybe it was Mike Vrabel's presence going into the Hall of Fame. I don't know what it was. But the Patriots have been an embarrassment. They looked downright on their luck. They looked like a sick puppy. A crying little boy to their mama on the last 3 weeks. All of a sudden they come out flying. They come out with energy. They come out with passion. They come out with fight. That's all I want to see. That is a team I want to watch and cheer for. I don't even care if they win. I just want to see them be competitive. I want to see them fight. I want to see them have passion. I don't want to tank. Fuck tank. Fuck them picks. I want to win games. And I want to be competitive. Always. And I don't want to sit here and have to commentate some shitty team that doesn't try and looks like they're tanking. I don't want to watch that shit. I don't want to commentate that shit. I don't want to have to listen to the comments in my comment section about that shit. I'd rather watch the Patriots with Mac Jones dicing the Buffalo Bills on the game-winning drive. Mac Jones has his moment. Mac Jones and the Patriots, a turning point potentially for Mac Jones's career. Guys, I don't think you understand how big of a moment this was for Mac Jones. I really don't think you guys understand how big of a moment this was for Mac Jones. Everyone has said throughout his young career he can't do this. He can't beat the Bills. He can't do it. He can't have a game-winning drive. Mac Jones can't be clutch. He can't win in the fourth quarter. He can't win from behind. Mac Jones can't make big throws. Mac Jones can't drive the field when you need to win it. And a lot of those people have been right. But this could be the moment. He did it. And he did it against a legit good quarterback on the other side. A team that scored points. This wasn't some 10-7 game. This was 29-25. And this was an offense that was playing their good players. What a concept! Unbelievable. You play players that can run. And you actually get guys running open. Instead of being covered like blankets. Devontae Parker, see ya! Don't wanna be ya. Juju Smith-Schuster, thank God he's not out there. You got DeMario, Super Mario Douglas, the next slot machine in New England, getting open, breaking ankles, making people miss. How refreshing. A Patriots receiver that actually breaks a tackle, a Patriots receiver that actually gets open, creates separation, and catches the ball. It's a fucking miracle. I can't believe it. And then we've got Kendrick Bourne, who I've been telling you for 3 years. Matt Patricia doghouse. Belichick doesn't think he runs the right route. Mac Jones' favorite receiver, we don't even have him on the field. And then when he gets on the field, he makes an actual fucking play. We figured it out last week that Kendrick Bourne is good, apparently. And now this week, he's playing every snap. Thank God! Hopefully Bill O'Brien is the one making these decisions, because it really feels like it. It rather feels like Bill O'Brien made these decisions, or Bill Belichick said, I might actually get fired. I got to put the good players on the field. Because I can't keep playing the players I'd signed. You watch A.J. Brown? Oh, I picked N'Keal Harry over that guy. And, you know, I'm not trying to hate on Bill, because Bill had a great game plan in this game. But as a GM, bro, you still stink, you stank, you stunk. But, great adjustments. But the thing is, this is what I've been saying. Just watch the bottom line view. Like, seriously, I'm not trying to be an arrogant prick. But honestly, any fan with any sort of semblance of an idea of how to run this team and knows the talent on the team understands what they should have done weeks ago. Devontae Parker sucks. Juju Smith-Schuster sucks. DeMario Douglas has been making plays. Play him. Kendrick Bourne's been making plays. Play him. Hunter Henry makes plays. Play him. Mike Gesicki makes plays. Throw him the ball. Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke are actually kind of okay good. Okay good. But the biggest thing has been the offensive line. And what have we been saying? Their right tackle's ass. So move Michael Onwenu to right tackle. Remember when he was really good at right tackle? Early in his career? Why can't we play Michael Onwenu at right tackle? It's not working with him at right guard. All of a sudden they make that move. I don't know if it was Dante Scarnecchia or what it was, but it fixed it. Michael Onwenu was fucking phenomenal in that game. Unbelievable. Cole Strange, back. The whole O-line looked better with Michael Onwenu just moving to right tackle. Sidney So had a great game at right guard. Awesome. Just keep playing those 5. Riley Reif will come back. He's the 6th guy. Great. Just play those 5. Build chemistry. And then what are we doing, Billy O? We're running play action. I've been saying this for 3 fucking years. Run play action with Mac Jones. He's really good at it. He's really good at play action. Because why? You get to attack the middle of the field with play action, and Mac Jones is a really good middle of the field passer. Attack the middle of the field. He's really accurate, really precise with the ball in the middle of the field. I'd like to see a little bit more Tyquan Thornton just out there to stretch the field because he has actual speed instead of Devontae Parker. I wouldn't even mind if they traded for a receiver. I know that we're probably not going to make the playoffs, although I will say this opens the door. Our schedule is very, 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 very opportunistic. Like, you look at our schedule down the stretch here, we're probably right there with all those teams. We get to play Brandon Staley. I mean, come on, that's a free W. So I just feel like New England, they look like a different team. So my thoughts on them have completely changed. I'm open. I'm open to be heard again. Defensively, Christian Barmore was a fucking monster in that game. Dietrich Wise had a great start to the game. I thought Anthony Jennings was great. No Keon White, no Josh Uche, no Matt Judon, and we rushed the passer like the 85 Bears versus Josh Allen in that game. Jawan Bentley, not his greatest game. Need to see more Mapu out there in passing situations. I felt like JC, phenomenal. Love having that guy back. Always been a JC fan since day one preseason. Just covered Jackson doing his thing. Jonathan Jones, great game. We're going to get Marcus back at some point. Imagine if we had our full secondary. Jabril Peppers is a real leader and tone setter. Love that guy. Need to see more out of Kyle Duggar. I feel like he's a little bit... You're taking him away from the line of scrimmage where he's so good. I think that hurts him. I do. But he did have a good game. And Jack Jones is back. And Jack Jones made a couple of key plays. A big tackle in the game. Man, that was a great game to watch. You know, even though I bet the Bills and I lost money, that was a great game to watch. I did not expect it at all. I did not think this team existed. I really didn't. But they exist. I mean, how many times have we seen this Patriots team, like that Kendrick Bourne play? As soon as Kendrick Bourne fumbled, I thought the game was over. Kendrick Bourne fumbles the ball, I thought the game was over. How many times have we seen that happen? Where the Patriots, over the last 3 years, with Mac Jones as a young quarterback, with a lack of weapons, fumble the ball, throw a pick, make a mistake, take a penalty, and the game's over. Late in the fourth. In this game, we made a crucial mistake and people are glossing over it. And we overcame the mistake. That was as positive, as enlightening as anything that happened in this game. Last thing I want to say is, where them Mac Jones haters at, baby? Where them Mac Jones haters at? I told you. Give them 1 7th-round receiver. Give them a guy that can actually run. Give them a guy that can actually get open. And you're going to have a good quarterback. Give them a little protection. You're going to have a good quarterback. Mac Jones can play when you have decent around him. Decent. It hasn't been decent this year around him. Until this game. And he played good in the Eagles game. He played good in the Dolphins game, I thought. This was his best game in a long time. And it's no coincidence that we took Devontae Parker off the field. It's no coincidence we moved Michael Onwenu to right tackle. It's no coincidence we ran play action. It's no coincidence Kendrick Bourne played every play. You have to play good players. You have to have good receivers. You have to have an offensive line that can block. You have to have a little bit of a running game. Every quarterback needs it. All of them. Mahomes has great protection up front. Mahomes has his safety blanket, Travis Kelce. Mahomes has Taylor Swift and the refs on his side. Mac Jones at least needs a 7th-round rookie receiver. Just give him that. That's all I'm asking. Thank you guys for watching. It's Mitch. Gronk, spike the like button and subscribe. That's your Week 7 review. Peace.